it's Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, where we carry the largest selection of wood flowers in the United States. Welcome back to another tutorial. We are fully jumping into spring. I know we've done some other spring stuff, but now we're like full force ahead. So it's all spring all the time. We're going to take a couple flowers that are flowers, but we're going to turn them into something completely different. And then we're just going to springify the heck out of a wreath. What was I going to say? I don't know. Springify a wreath. That's what we're going to do. Oh gosh. If I can't say the word wreath, we are in trouble today, you guys. Okay, let's jump into it, shall we? First things first, I need to take my shoes off. They're driving me nuts. Okay, second thing, we're gonna do some spring magic, and that's taking this lovely flower bud, or turn it into a carrot. I know. You're like, you can see it though, right? If you squint enough, you can see it. So what we're going to do to create this carrot, I didn't want to mix my own orange. We do have red and yellow paint in the shop. You could definitely make an orange out of that if you have those colors. I just grabbed from back over there since it's there. So this is Deco Art Canyon Orange. And then I did grab the green that we have, which is watermelon. For the watermelon, I've already mixed up all of my paint. I did add water to all of these. I added more water to this to thin it out just a little bit. It's a pretty bright green, but it worked out really, really well. And then that was about the 1-to-1 ratio like normal. I did not add any glycerin in. These flowers are pretty dang like tightly wound up. I'm not worried about breakage or anything like that. So glycerin for me, in my mind, is not necessary, but you can definitely add it if that's what you prefer. So let's dip dye these. Actually, we're gonna hand paint them. It's a little bit easier with paintbrushes, I'm finding. So let's bring it on down and we'll magically turn this flower into a carrot. Oh, I feel like Cinderella's fairy godmother, you guys. This is gonna be fun. And yes, I know that the fairy godmother turned a pumpkin into a carriage, but I'm feeling like her cousin over here turning a flower into a carrot. So I think you got I think you get the gist of what I was saying. But if you didn't, that's okay, leave me a comment. I'll take engagement, it's fine. Okay, so for this, I dip it so that the inside of this little wrinkled, this is the one time where it's like, oh, I'm really glad the flower has a really long tail to it because it just adds that little extra poofy. Now some of the flower buds will have a little shorter tail. I'll show you an example of that in just a second. It still gives the illusion of a carrot. It's just a little less greenery on the top. So that's all we got to do on that. And I like to go down a little bit. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can just go right to the tippy top. Then I kind of dab to get some of the excess paint off because I'm going to be holding this. Now, if you don't like paint on your hands, definitely wear gloves. I don't mind. And I scrub my nails afterwards and it gets all of the paint off pretty quickly. So those are always the questions I get asked. So I'm just set it in the paint for a little bit. Now the flower bud will kind of open up a little bit in these like curled in, or these like twisted layers. I will sometimes like really get in there, and sometimes I'm just like go back into place and kind of smooth everything over. Just depends. Now once I get up closer to the top, there's gonna be some overage of paint, but I'm a little bit more like cautious or conscientious of where those lines are meeting so that I don't overdo it, because I don't want to lose a lot of that green that I laid down, but I want to give it some layers and dimension. It's just going to darken up that green kind of spot. And then again, if it starts to, where is that? Do you see? Right there. Huh. Let's see if I can get there, right there. It kind of opened up a little bit, so then I can see the cream of the flower. Again, just going in with my brush. You can use a smaller brush too. I used a pretty big brush for this one, but. And then again, kind of smoothing it black and blue. Oh gosh, normal words are hard today. Back into place, smooth that out, and then set it down to dry. Let me give you an example of a tinier little guy. Look at, he's just got a cute little, compared to the guy we just dip dyed. It still looks like a carrot to me, but sometimes the little tail is a little bit shorter. Or you can make it shorter if you want. If you like a short carrot top, shorten it up. Okay, we're gonna let those dry, and as we let those dry, hold on. Hi. Hands. You were talking to my hands. I was talking to you with my hands. Anyway, we're gonna let these dry, and while we do that, we're gonna start decorating our wreath. These will go on last. Let's do it. Okay, supply breakdown. Now this I found on clearance at Kirkland's. It's pretty dang cute. I don't know what it is about the smell of Kirkland's, but I cannot get enough of it. It's like an old musty bookstore. I love the smell of that. It doesn't smell like an old musty bookstore. It just smells like a lovely perfume. I don't know. I just love the smell of Kirkland's. I walk in and go, oh, I love it here. So anyway, got this on clearance. Not too bad. It was like $15 plus I had like rewards points. So I got like $5 off of it. And I think it was also 20% off clearance on top of it. So you can find some good deals. Otherwise, their wreaths typically range in like the 50 and up price point. High quality stuff though, so I do like using it when I can and I need to. I'm out of my wreath form stash, believe it or not. I've made so many wreaths over the years, so I gotta stock back up, but I found this one. And it's lovely as is, but you know we can't just leave it as is. I wouldn't think of it. So, we have the wreath. Then we also have some pink, this is baby's breath. Yeah, pink baby's breath. We no longer carry this in the shop. We did at one point, but I figured we'll add in a little extra. Since there's already a decent amount of greenery here, I don't think I need to add in more greenery, but I do want to add a little something something. Speaking of something something, you cannot have like carrots floating around and thinking about bunnies without, hello, bunny tails. Hello, bunny tails. So we're gonna have some bunny tails in there. I have a mixture of, we had bleached ones at one point as well as the natural, so it's a mixture of the natural and the bleached. I've got some faux spring robin eggs. These are at the shop at ohyourlovely.com. We're gonna see if those will work. I don't know if they're gonna pop enough. I feel like they might get lost in this, so if they're gonna get lost, we're not gonna add them, but we have them just in case. And then the flowers. Let me show you the flowers. But hold on, I need to get more situated. I have them all over here on a nice little pile, but I don't think you'll be able to see them very well. So I know what we'll do. We'll do a breakdown. So this particular flower dyed assortment was from our subscription box that went out, let's see, it shipped out early March. So this was the subscription box that went out at the beginning of March of 2023. We have a faux large anemone. This is made out of a Charleston. We've got these lovely, I believe this is the Paris rose. Then we've got a carnation. So those all I have threes of. I also have this one, and I always forget if it's Thelma or Louise. It's one of the two. One has a little spikier petal than the other, but here they are. I've got 3 of those. And then I believe this is Quincy. We've got 5 of those, and this one I have no idea what the name is, but I will find it and let you know. And there's 5 of those. So those are all of the flowers we're gonna possibly smush in there, along with our little carrots to finish up the piece. So hopefully by the time we're done filling in the wreath, we can add in those carrots as our last finishing touch. So let's get to it. Okay, I'm playing with a new camera angle, so hopefully my head doesn't get in the way the whole time. We'll find out, maybe, if I watch the replay. Okay, so normally I think with these, we add the greenery in first, so I don't have greenery per se. I have pink stuff and bunny tails, but we're gonna add that in first. And I'm gonna add these in little bunches at a time, not even that big of a bunch. Probably that big of a bunch at a time. My scissors handy just in case. And I'm going to just add a little glue onto the base of these stems, just so it has a little something to pick up. And we're just gonna slide it in. I am gonna be paying attention to the the pattern, this throws me off a little bit. The pattern of the greenery is this way. So our little tufts are gonna be going in that same little flow. Our little flow. I don't think that's what I meant to say. But nonetheless, it's out there and it has been said. Just be careful when working with this stuff so you don't, you know, burn your fingers. Oh, I'm intoxicated by the smell of Kirkland's. So weird. I know it's weird. So tell me in the comments, what is your favorite, like, unusual smell? I know some people like the smell of gasoline. That one I can't agree with, but you do you, boo. If that's your odd scent of choice. I had mentioned old bookstores. God, I love the smell of a good musty book. Actually, the smell of all kinds of old things. Just love it. And if that makes me weird, I'm fine with it. All right, first filler down. Let's move that out of the way and we'll move on to the bunny tails. Okay, so for the bunny tails, I do like to normally put these in bunches and not just individual, but that's just me. If you prefer to put them in individually, by all means do that. I'm usually not a super fan of the wreaths that are built with like tons of teeny tiny little branches, but I will say it makes it a lot easier to slide in some of this stuff. So for that reason, I like it. There's something about bunny tails in spring and fall arrangements. I love them. And winter sometimes too. You can have a cute little touch of fuzzy goodness in a winter piece. But something like using preserved fillers, I can definitely see the benefit of using a glue pot to kind of, excuse me, oh, another sneezer. I can see the benefit of a glue pot, like to put just the bottom of the stems on and slide it in and get going. So there's definitely, I can see the benefit for that. I just don't have one. I used a crock pot at one point, like one of those little mini dip crock pots, and it took forever for the glue to warm up. And then it just felt like I had so many strings and things like that, more than even when I used the glue gun the way I do. So it wasn't ideal for me. Okay, so now we're gonna add a little bit more. So I've kind of gotten around. We'll see. Okay, our bunny tails are in, and now we'll add in our flowers. All right, back. Pop in our smaller flowers. I think I'm gonna go with the greens first. We'll finish up with the yellows to then, hopefully our carrots are dry. Oh, and we've got to decide on the lovely eggs. I think they might fade in too much, but who knows for sure. We won't know until we actually pop them in there. Easter egg time. Robin eggs. Let's just see. I think it's an extra kind of day. I think so. These definitely aren't like the main show of this, but we'll get some bigger ones in here. They definitely play into this whole lovely story we kind of have going. So I am gonna add the eggs in. Let me show you how we're gonna do that. So let me go grab the supplies and we'll get to adding those. So these faux eggs are styrofoam in the center. So it's nice and easy to just take a wire. And this is why I always hold on to like smaller wires that I've clipped off of flowers. And well, geez, don't go right in that spot because apparently that makes it hard. Slide it in there. Now because this is going in a wreath, you can add a little glue to it too for extra stability. It's really up to you. I normally do if it's like a live tutorial, as many have seen. I don't normally glue them just to save time. But if I was selling this, which I'm not, but if I were, I would be gluing these all into place. And I am going to glue them all off of camera in just a second. We'll come back and start getting these into the piece as well. Okay, eggs are all wired up. Then what we're gonna do is we'll add a little bit of glue to the end of this and then slide it into our wreath. Again, remembering our flow, because it also helps remember like where the, like how easy it's gonna get into the wreath form itself. I like where there's a little bit of height sometimes, where it kind of sticks up a little bit, versus it getting kind of lost in the shuffle of everything else going on, because there's some height going on with a lot of different things. So having a wire on there can help give it a little bit more dimension as well. Also remember your sides and the inside and the outside of the piece. Now if my wires are too long and they start sticking out the other side of the wreath, we're just gonna clip those in a second. I'm not too worried about it. This one's too long though, for sure. Carrot time. And I think the carrots we're just going to snuggle them in, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's go grab those and make a final decision. I snuggled, nestled, nuzzled the carrots before I turned the camera back on. I think we're just gonna glue them. I don't think we're gonna use any wires for them. If I was gonna do wires though, we would stem these up a little bit differently. I'd probably stem them up from like the side of the flower to then go in, but we're just gonna good old glue them. And the nice thing about this, because there are some like where they ripple and things, or there might be a little wood knot or something like that, I can then just put that to the back and I can glue that in place and none the wiser. And I'm just trying to make sure I have it connected on a couple different spots. Oh my God, I think she's done. Ah! I'm really glad we added the eggs. I didn't think I was gonna like them, but I think they really pull everything together on top of the little pops of carrots. All right, let's get it up over on the door and see what we think. All right, lovelies, there you have it. The over-the-top spring wreath is done. We did a lot in a short period of time. We made some flowers turn into carrots, like, again, the fairy godmother's cousin. No pumpkins here, only carrots. Used the Dida subscription box, which every month you have until the 25th to get the subscription box that'll go out the following month. And then it renews monthly. So if you have any questions about that or like check it out over at ohyourelovely.com, pop those in, grab some of the robin eggs, faux robin eggs, those also are over at ohyourelovely.com, unless they sold out, which is always a possibility. Some of the kind of spring or seasonal type things, once they're gone, they're gone. We don't get them back in. We might get them the next year, but there's no guarantee for that. And yeah, took a lovely clearance wreath and turned it into something a little extra. Oh, I love it so much, and I hope you do too. Make sure to like this video if you liked it. Leave us a comment, subscribe if you'd like. If you do subscribe, make sure to ring that bell so that you are notified every time a video goes up, which is typically on Wednesdays. All of that interaction helps the channel, so thank you so much for doing that. We truly appreciate it. To find out about the 150 style Sola wood flowers along with craft supplies and greenery, go to ohyourelovely.com. But before you do, no hopping just yet. Let me give you something. Use the code YouTube30 to get 30% off your first order. All right, you guys, I will see you next week with probably another spring project. Like I said, we are full force into spring for a while. I have some ideas for some Mother's Day stuff. All that stuff is all coming up. But if there's something that you would love to see, you can always drop it down in the comments. And if we already have a video, I typically will link it for you as well so that you can see that within the comments. All right, you guys, that's it. I'm done rambling. Have a lovely day. I will see you super soon. I am Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, and you, my friends, are absolutely lovely. Bye, guys.